Hi, so today I'm going to be doing problem number 24. The problem is, a student stands at the edge of a cliff and throws a stone horizontally over the edge with a speed of 18 meters per second. The cliff is 50 meters above a flat horizontal beach. How long after being released does the stone strike the beach below the cliff? With what speed and angle of impact does the stone land? So I've already drawn my picture. I've established that height equals 0 is at the beach, and I've established my positive x and positive y direction. So as given in the problem, we know that the initial velocity in the x direction is 18 meters per second. And because it is in the horizontal direction, there is no other force on it, so the final velocity is also 18 meters per second. So the acceleration is 0 meters per second squared. And this is one of the only cases where once you have 3 of these, you can't solve for the other 2. So now let's move over to the y direction. The initial velocity is only in the horizontal direction, so there is no initial vertical velocity. So that is 0 meters per second. And we know that the acceleration is negative 9.8 meters per second squared. And our displacement is negative 50 meters. Okay, so now I have 3 of these. I can solve for the other 2, and I'm looking for the time. So I'm going to use this equation and I'll substitute so I get negative 50 equals negative 4.9 t squared equals 10.2, and t equals 3.9 seconds. Obviously you discard the negative answer for that. So now we have time. We've solved half of the question, and so let's fill this in, and it is the same for both x and y. Now I want to find my final velocity. I want to find my final net velocity, but to do that first I have to find my final velocity in the y direction. So I will use this equation because I don't want to use time because we just solved for that, 2a delta x. So my final velocity is 0 plus 2. So my final velocity in the y direction is 31.3 meters per second. So now I can, what we learned for vectors, I need to find my final net velocity, which I will call z, and then we use the tip to tail to find, okay, so we have our initial velocity in the x direction is 18 meters per second, and y is 31.3 meters per second. So I can use Pythagorean theorem to find 31.3 squared equals z squared equals 1303.69, and then z is 36.11 meters per second. So this is that the net velocity, final velocity. And now I want to find theta, so I'll use tangent. Theta equals opposite over adjacent. Theta equals inverse tangent of 31.3 over 18. So theta is 60.1 degrees. So now our final answer is the stone strikes the beach after 3.19 seconds at 36.11 meters per second, 60.1 degrees below the positive x-axis. Okay, that is the answer. Thank you, and good luck on the rest of your problems.